apologies. Hello friends, another day, another dollar, darlings. It is, of course, the, give me a minute, bear with, the 22nd day of the Friesian Experience Christmas Countdown. Now for today and today only, I'm not filming at the Friesian Experience. I'm filming at my mummy's house because that is where I live. So I've decided to start it with a bookshelf in the background just to make me look vaguely intelligent, because I am an intellectual being who likes to devour things with words in. Like this book, Call Me Mummy, which was about a slightly psychotic woman who adopted a child and kept her dead husband in the cellar, where she abducted the child, not adopted. But anyway, we're digressing. And behind me there is also the toilet. So it's like a Full House tour, you know, think of it like MTV Crib Style. And welcome back, guys, to my residence. But sadly we're not in California or an exotic location, and this is not like a celebrity style mansion. It's just the House of Halls, which actually belongs to her mum. And she's proud of that, you know. Sarah loves having Holly live here. Let me just go and find the source herself. Without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the woman who birthed me. Ooh, as part of the house tour, here are my little Dalmatians that we keep on the stairs. There's my mum riding Dachshund. So here is the woman who birthed me. Sahara Desert.
Sorry, everyone.
Are you apologising for pushing me out?
No, you were sucked out.
Thank you.
It was that difficult from the word go.
So, I was actually going to be filming this episode yesterday when we had our Christmas drinks do, but I got too hammered too quickly and then I was unable to do what I was meant to do, and to be honest, I completely forgot to do it. I was that drunk, and as was everyone else, so it would have probably been quite entertaining, but I forgot to do it. And in the background here is my late girl Nodja, who arrived with Micah, and we sadly lost her to colic a couple of years ago. And above her is Spesh. And without further ado, allow me to introduce to you.
On a serious note though, in the early days my mum was a massive part of this place. Weekend in, weekend out, she'd bring me and Freya, and we'd all come and help out. At that age, me and Freya weren't that useful because we were only little, but my mum had experience in the equine industry from when she was younger, and due to, you know, having kids and work, she kind of fell out of horses for a bit, and then she had a carriage drive with Tracy, and she offered, you know, to come and muck out, you know, at weekends because she missed it, and Tracy was like, yeah, why not? And then ever since then, we just, she started going to get away from the kids, but then the kids started coming with her, and the rest, as they say, is history. So back in the day, my mum used to help out with weddings, the day-to-day looking after on weekends. Her and Tracy, again, this is divulging right into the history, but a few of you might have heard of FAGB, and it's now known as the UKFS or something like that. It's the Friesian Association in the UK, and Tracy was once president of that, and my mum was, she was on the board of directors for a bit of that as well, so she helped out there. But no, me and Freya, we have been so lucky to have a mother like us, and to have been raised properly, which is I think being raised properly can be a rarity in today's world. So we're very, very lucky that we did have a mum who loved us, looked after us, and brought us up with a good work ethic and good morals and values. So thanks for that, Sarah. Love you. And coming in next, we do of course have Sandy, our legendary photographer, and her trophy husband George. So it's actually pretty challenging finding pictures that physically had Sandy in them, as ordinarily she's the other side of the lens, and 99.9999999% of the amazing, stunning, beautiful pictures out there of the horses are all Sandy's. So she is responsible for the memory bank of the horses over the years. There are so many incredible images, and then there's quite a few iconic ones in there as well. I think most of the iconic ones include Thronvars, one of our late stallions, but no, absolutely every snap Sandy gets is sensational, and we have been, us and the horses have been so lucky to have her documenting the journey in picture format. So yeah, And as for George, her husband, he supports us as well. And he has the most amazing way with words, and he is beginning to hop on our social media and write Facebook and Instagram posts for us, so that's incredible. And should we need anything snazzy wording in the future, we know where to go. So these two are just absolutely legendary, and they have played a vital role in the evolution of the Friesian experience. I mean, Jesus Christ, without Sandy, we wouldn't have 90% of our marketing content, nice picture material. So yeah, if it wasn't for Sandy, our social media would, I don't want to say would never have made it where it was, but I think those images, they really, really do make it, especially, from a marketing perspective. If we want to, be fancy and do little marketing things, which very, very occasionally, when one of us has the inclination and the time, which is rare, we do. So, no, both absolutely incredible individuals. And coming in next, we have Holden, whose actual name is Jane Holden. She doesn't live up here in the north, she lives in Devon, so she doesn't visit us that often, but when she does, she always gets stuck in out in the yard. And as you can see, Hannes and Vives, who she's pictured with, she is featured in one of Hannes's groupies, and me and her are always fighting over him. However, in more modern times, we have had to surrender because his number one fan is now, of course, and always will be, none other than Rosie. So we have had to settle our differences aside in that matter. But Jane, yeah, she's always pops up, and she'd always be there whenever we need her. She was also responsible for before we got Nero here, Jane, because he was situated near her, his previous home. Jane went to go and visit him and see his owner before he arrived up here. So anything we need, we know we can always rely on Jane. And should we all want to go together on an all-inclusive to Ibiza, as obviously it's quite hard to go on trips together because of the horses, you need to find cover for them. That's what Jane does. So Jane, when we're in Ibiza this time next year, we'll send you a postcard, yeah? Love you! Here we have Kaz, whose actual name is Karen, but none of us can bring ourselves to call her Karen because Kaz is the least Karen-like Karen you could ever imagine in your life. I'm sure many of you are aware of the Karen phenomenon, which is the stereotypical middle-aged, slightly overweight American woman with a terrible haircut who always complains to the manager, and that is most definitely not Kaz. Kaz is one of the sweetest, kindest people I think I've ever met in my entire life. Her place on the farm is the hay hole. We've actually named it after her. It's called Caddy's Hay Hole now, as she loves filling our hay nets, which is great because as much as I love doing all the jobs here, hay nets is probably one of my least favourites, so thank you for that, Kaz. And yeah, she lives locally, so she's always popping up on hand to help us with the horses, always brightening up our days, so thank you very much for that, Kaz. And then we have Lynn, who pictured here with Billy on one of our open days. On our open day, she is absolutely amazing because she has the gift of the gab, so she can be found with our merchandise, selling away to you. And she's also absolutely great for speaking to people and letting them know all about this place at events like that. And when we don't have open days, she's always just popping in to say hello and to help us out around the yard. And to stop all of us from having mental breakdowns, Lynn's like a real life mum. She's also a manny lass, but yeah, she is the mum. She's just always looking after everyone and making sure everybody is okay. But she's definitely the firm but fair mum. You wouldn't mess Lynn about, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have the lovely Lisa, who lives on the Isle of Wight at the moment, but she's always popping up to see us throughout the year. And she stays for prolonged periods at a time, and in that time she is incredible. She's always out on the yard with us. She is our washerwoman. She keeps the horses' laundry fresh and dry. She's the treat lady as well, and she's always giving the boys and girls kisses and cuddles and just being there just to chat to and keep the morale boosted. So thank you, Lisa, and we look forward to your next visit in 2024. Here we have Joy, who is another one of our volunteers. So Joy she actually has an MBA. We've even got a friend who's met the Queen, everybody. So that's Joy. Joy is also, much like George, she has an incredible way with words, and she is responsible for anyone who has visited us. You will have seen a couple of our poems that we have, and Joy was responsible for those. She is always in attendance in our open day. She's always been a massive, massive supporter of this place. And her number one job, though, is of course to spoil her girl Nika with attention and gifts, which Nika absolutely loves, as Joy is one of Nika's number one fans. And here we have head of creativity and costumes, Sharon Dance, with her creation and in her costume. So Sharon, what do you do here?
I come here, I come and see Mr. JB.
Yep.
I'm his number one fan, little chunky monkey. And I just come along, come and see, and try and tell people what the Friesian experience is all about.
Yeah, Sharon
and
is...
sometimes I come dressed up and sometimes I come dressed as normal. This is normal.
Sharon's never dressed as normal. Yeah. Yeah, Sharon is our brand ambassador as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am.
And at open days, she is underneath the costume. This is the lady who is beneath it.
And we'll have a treat for the next open day.
Will we?
We will.
Excellent. We look forward to
treat.
seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also make these creations. So anyone who stayed in Stable Stays will have seen the artwork that is Mr. JB, which, much like this drummy picture, was created by Sharon here. And she likes to measure the time it takes her to make them in gin time.
Yes.
So roughly, Sharon, in gin time, how long does it take you to create your masterpieces?
It's about 2 to 3 gin bottles. This was a 3 gin bottle job.
And we're talking big bottles, yes?
Big litre bottles.
Yep. So 3 litres of gin later, this is what Sharon has created.
And how I managed to do it on the right sheet after all the gin is very difficult.
I can imagine. How you got those all in the right places after a few gins. Like, I think I would have ended up with one of his eyes in the sky. But no, they are incredible. So if you'd like to come and see some of Sharon's artwork, then book a stable stay. But thank you very much, Sharon, for joining us here.
Absolutely,
and everyone
my
watching
pleasure.
this, you will see her. We're not sure of dates yet, but you will see Sharon at our open days next year. Because even if she's in Spain, because you have your own pet transporting business, we will send someone to extradite you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, you will be extradited.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's Halloween, I'll just come on my own broomstick.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Not a problem.
Including the incredible lady who is, of course, Tracy and Tamara's lovely mum, Sylvia. So here she is with a couple of the boys in the turnout. And Sylvia's always been a massive support over the years. She's played a massive part in Bailey's upbringing as well. And she's just always been on hand for support and to help Tracy and Tamara out around the farm. And she is, of course, owner of the incredibly tiny little chihuahua, Millie, whose tongue sticks out of her mouth and she makes a sound like this. And here you have a bonus round, which is some family photos of us all. And in these photos you will have also seen Shelley and Martina, who were a couple of our first ever work experiences. Not that they really needed the work experience, and they have remained members of our Friesian family ever since.
Can't wait for Santa to soon be here. The city streets are blinking and glowing. The type of peace that everyone knows.
Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of the Friesian Experience Christmas Advent. It was slightly unusual, I will agree, but that is the nature of me. And behind me here is the map of the Lake District, the most incredible place on the whole wide world. Why? Because it contains Greenbank Farm and my house, that's why. Woohoo!